TVET college wasn't my first choice, was not even my mind. But then I couldn't just waste my time just to stay at home. I have to study something and be something.
Nomalisa Mganisa joined the long line of matriculants scrambling for a spot at Central Johannesburg College in Alexandra. The academic year is about to make a late start at one of the country's 50 TVET colleges. Protests and calls for a national shutdown by the student body SAFETSA just a week before still linger in the air on campus. Nomalisa's dream was to teach, but today she's registering for an N1 in electrical engineering. It's a scarce skill and crucial to becoming an electrician. Students need at least 40% in both maths and science to be admitted to the course.
Some of the subjects are not quite good with the results, but then passed to the bachelor, which is quite good. I took a gap year, tried to work. So I worked at one of the retails, which is known, Mr. Price. Worked for a couple of months, and then I resigned just to start again and register.
Being accepted at an institution has not been easy, especially because of administrative red tape.
I couldn't get into TU2, and then I applied at UJ. UJ I applied for teaching too, couldn't get in. And then when I reapply, they say they have captured my information, but then still they can't edit my courses.
But her expectations of the qualification itself are clear. She believes it could make working at Eskom in a few years a reality.
I think I'll get a job very easier. I mean, in colleges we get practicals, and if you check at the universities, most of it's theories.
The registration process has been slow, and Nomalisa will have little time to settle. Her first exams are in 2 months' time. She's the first of her siblings to study further.
I'm stressed about the one who's doing matric. I have a feeling that she'll have the same problem as mine. You see, that's the thing. I'm just scared because based on the situation I'm from, well, we only have one breadwinner at home, which is not enough. And that is why I try to apply for NSFAS, and I'm hoping that it will accept me.
More than 400,000 of the class of 2016 qualified to carry on studying. The country's 26 public universities will be able to accommodate less than half of them. There are over 500,000 post-school education opportunities available, and about 280,000 matriculants are eligible to study for diplomas and higher certificates. In January, Minister of Higher Education and Training, Bladen Zimande, urged matriculants to consider TVETs as an alternative to university.
Let me also say that while education is a key priority of government, we want to make technical and vocational education and training an apex of the post-school education and training system.
And this is an important part of the National Development Plan. South Africa requires 30,000 qualified artisans every year. The country is currently falling well short of this target. TVET colleges responsible for the training of artisans are integral in tackling the economy's demand for technical and vocational skills. In the past 5 years, the higher education and training budget has outstripped those of other departments. The budget for TVET colleges for the 2017 and 2018 financial year amounts to almost 20 billion rand. One of the major challenges facing the country is unemployment. Graduates are entering a saturated labour market full of discouraged job seekers. And to make matters worse, the job market is suspicious of TVET graduates.
We are hoping to place our students in industry on June holidays, just to exposure them over a period of 2 weeks. But we don't guarantee all of them will be exposed.
Mputumi Neka has lectured mechatronics at Sedibeng College. This scarce skill is highly sought after in the motor industry.
Some companies, they didn't know that there are institutions offering mechatronics in South Africa, especially from FET colleges. So when the students started to talk and say, I'm doing mechatronics, the companies were shocked.
Although employers value practical training, this hasn't always led to employment, and practical training doesn't always happen at TVET colleges. This is what Lodwick Shavalala from Limpopo found out. He recently started an apprenticeship at TechnoTrain, an artisan training academy in Kempton Park.
I enrolled at TJC in 2018. I studied electrical engineering for about 2 years, and then I never went to a practical or workshop. It was only theory part in the classroom. By the time I completed my course, I was hoping that I'll get maybe a job, learnership, apprenticeship, and then it took me about 8 months.
The third quarter labour survey of 2016 reports university graduate unemployment of 7.3%, while unemployment for other tertiary education stood at 17.3%.
The numbers point to this. Skilled graduates emerging from universities have a better chance of finding employment. But those with diplomas and certificates are battling to gain foothold in the labour market. Now, our labour market is clearly in need of skilled workers. But is our education and training system in its current form capable of providing the skills needed to meet the private sector's demands? Or is it perhaps time we consider a different model?
No, you can't put the blame on the doorstep of education institutions. That for unemployment, that I am absolutely sure. No matter what weaknesses we have, you create jobs through investment and also investing in job-creating activities. At the moment, as the country are saying, we need to beneficiate our minerals. That's what is going to create jobs. We need to build the manufacturing sector. That's what is going to create jobs. We need to build a small-medium, create an environment for small-medium enterprises. That's what is going to create jobs. Part of the problem we have that we do not sometimes talk enough about is that the private sector itself is not reinvesting enough in our country.
Some experts believe employers are notoriously unfriendly to youth. There's a view that this is a legacy of the apartheid labour market strategy, which actively prevented black youth from entering the sector. Today, 99% of college students are black.
What's lacking for young African graduates of colleges is a similar social capital. After 2002, there was a growth summit led by Mbeki and business. And the entire thrust from that point on was to employ young people. That actually is backfired because employers have walked away. Where we are now is at the worst level of trust between employers and government, and especially government schemes.
Employers are often excluded from curriculum development. This problem is compounded by an increasingly diverse business sector.
The quality of provision by TVET colleges, for instance, depend to a large extent on the closeness with which employers and colleges work together. And I think it's important to say right from the start that it's not just about employers working with colleges. For me, I see it as a joint approach. Sector education and training authorities also have to play a part, as well as the Department of Higher Education, which provides the steer for the system. So it is important that we have all those actors working together, primarily because they need to understand the same problems the same way.
Skills education and training authorities have also often failed to implement their mandate.
The main problem is the numbers of people who have been trained are just don't constitute a revolution.
Besides a lack of communication between employers and training institutions, TVETs face other problems. Students say they have been protesting because of ongoing issues with the Department of Higher Education and Training dating to 2012. They claim these include corruption, unqualified lecturers, and delays in releasing results.
My parents don't trust me because of the result. The results are saying 0, some are pending, some are saying absent. My parents don't believe me that I went to school, I wrote my exams. So now I'm stressed and I don't know what to do.
We're supposed to get the results like on the 31st of December. Yeah. That's when we're supposed to get the results. So that we know what's going on, whether we've passed on or we failed. Yeah. But even now, some results are not out yet.
We are also facing a challenge of students who are returning students. They are being told that there is no more accommodation in Central Johannesburg College. We're asking ourselves that is it NSFAS that did not issue the budget
A report published by National Treasury in 2016 shows TVET colleges are dysfunctional. Even though the department promises to work on improving the situation, for TVET students Nomalisa and Lordwick, getting a job will not be easy. And as the no-fees debate rages on, the cheaper TVET option, which could be a solution, instead remains part of the problem. Lauren Rose Joseph, Johannesburg.